All right, everybody. So welcome. Happy to have you all here and happy for my guest today who's going to be doing the work. Thank you so much, Lenora.
Oh, thank you, Grace, for having me.
Just love this. It's so much fun. So I love that you actually wrote a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. That's fantastic. And while it's never required here because some people don't even know where to begin, you
Okay.
you know. So why don't you read it? Read what you wrote and you can tell us briefly the situation.
Okay. Would you like that first, Grace, or do you want me to jump into the worksheet?
Yeah, why don't you tell us the situation first?
Okay, so I'm a writer by profession, and I've been doing it for a long time. And I had a piece of work that went up on stage, and it did not get good reviews, and it just. And I can usually take reviews, but for some reason, I let this really get to me, and so I haven't let it go. It's been about 6 or 8 months. So I thought, when I signed up, I'm like, this would be the perfect time to get, your input and to really delve into it because I just was happy being mad.
Good to see. Okay, awesome.
Felt good. So,
All right.
so hopefully people can, apply this or whatever. So do you want me to start with number one and then just go all the way through?
Yeah, read the whole thing the way you wrote it. Read the whole thing.
Sweet. Okay, will do. Okay, so question one, in this situation, who angers, confuses, hurts, saddens, or disappoints you and why? I am pissed off with reviewers because they didn't respect my work and wrote thoughtless, hurtful reviews that were unfair and made me hate my own work. Two, in this situation, how do you want him, her, them to change? What do you want them to do? I want reviewers to take my work seriously, even though I'm not well known, and I want them to base their reviews on the strength of my work and my talent, and take the time to put together critiques that show some intelligence and insight. Three, in this situation, what advice would you offer him, her, them, he, she, they shouldn't or should? Reviewers shouldn't be so mean. They should look at new work without prejudice or jealousy, put aside their own personal biases so that they can do their jobs well. Four, in order for you to be happy in this situation, what do you need them to think, say, feel, or do? I need reviewers to change their opinions of my work, admit that they were wrong, and understand that what they write influences the public and can make or break a career for an artist. Number five, what do you think of him or them in this situation? Make a list. It's okay to be petty and judgmental. And I was. Reviewers are frustrated, failed writers, obnoxious snobs, mindless lemmings, and sycophants. Six, what is it about this person or situation that you don't ever want to experience again? I don't ever want to experience the humiliation and demoralization that I felt after reading my reviews. I never want to be tortured again by others' negative opinions.
Ooh, fabulous. Love it. Okay. Well said. Well said. All right. So I love it. It's a great situation. Review or even just somebody saying something critical.
Right.
That hurts. So read number one again and we'll break it down. There's a few things in number one all by itself. So we'll break it down. So read the whole thing.
Number one, in this situation, who angers, confuses, hurts, saddens, or disappoints you and why? I'm pissed off with reviewers because they didn't respect my work and wrote thoughtless, hurtful reviews that were unfair and made me hate my own work.
Okay. What piece, like if you were going to make this much more simple, because there's an and here's what they did. So I love this as an example to show people, like, some of us write in really long sentences. I would raise my hand on that one. And we're just going to break it down into something very simple. And there's a few different concepts in one sentence, longer sentence. So let's just see what has the most charge if you kind of took the pieces of it. Like they wrote a bad review.
I think it's more that made me hate my own work, where I feel that's the most emotionally charged part of it. Is that, they wrote, I felt hurtful things, but it was more that if, you're talking about the thing that really was demoralizing, it was that I was like, this, I guess this thing stinks,
Okay. And good. This is great. It's good to notice. They say it stinks. I believe it stinks.
Right.
We could definitely see what happens. Many people go here. It's like with just the little nuance about it is, and I love that they're in it. They made me hate my own work.
Yeah.
and it's watching, they have to say something before you hate their own work, your own work. They have to say it first, you know?
Right. Right.
Like that reaction, because so many people come to the work. I mean, I did this myself. I don't really feel as upset with what everyone else is doing. I understand they're doing the best they can, blah, blah, you know, or people are mean sometimes. I just wish I wouldn't react. It's all, the problem is over here with me and how I react. Okay. Very wise in some ways. There's a wisdom in that. You can't change the other people, and look what we're doing to ourselves. Like but we're sure that we can change. We're just positive, and we're usually less willing to like ease up our beliefs about ourselves than we are about other people. But they had to do it first. Like it's a domino effect. I have to be having this reaction about myself out of somebody else speaking. If I lived on an island, you know, a tropical island all alone,
Right.
I probably wouldn't care if my work was good or not, you know, because I don't know, unless I was basing it on comparison. I do like they're in this sentence. They made me hate my own work.
Right.
So let's go with it because they're there. I like that you did that instead of just finding, now I hate my own work, you know, anyway, but they have to, it's almost, the assumption is they hate my work in the first.
Yes. Right. Right.
They hate my work. Yes. So maybe we'll hold both of them at the same time.
Okay.
They hate my work. And when they hate my work, I hate my work. And they did it.
Right.
They made me. Okay. So
yeah.
It's good to see. All right. So first question, is it true that they made me hate my own work? Is that true?
No.
How'd you find your no there?
Well, because when I went in, because I'm focusing on that time period.
Uh-huh.
I have a specific moment in time when that hit me.
Yeah.
You know, where I transitioned from, well, I'm being attacked, and to, oh, this place sucks. You know, I remember that moment, and I have to own that moment. In the sense that something transitioned in me where I just was like, yeah, you know, they're right. This isn't any good.
Okay, cool.
It wasn't a conscious decision. It was just, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember going into like a very dark place for that.
Okay. Very powerful. All right. So let's just check. So yeah. I love that. Looking at the situation, remembering being there. Okay. So let's just check because of the assumption they do hate my work. See if that's absolutely true. Even given what they're saying. Even if they're saying, I hate her work, da, da, da. Just see if it's absolutely true that they do.
It feels like it's true.
Okay. Yeah. I just think it's always good to check. It's good to check. You never know the situation, you know?
Right.
And I absolutely know that that's true. Because I mean, that it just comes up a lot in like we'll say, that person hates me. It's great to sit there and go, can I absolutely know? All right. So that one feels true. They do hate my work. All right. What happens when you think they made me hate my own work? How do you react when you believe that thought?
Well, I feel terrible, but I kind of hate agreeing with them, but it kind of, well, it taps into old stuff, you know, like, you know, worthiness, and maybe it's not that good. Maybe I'd convinced myself it was that good. Maybe I've been lying to myself. You know, they're the clear measure of truth versus, you know, fable. Because it was, you know, that was the first time that work was presented to an enormous audience. So I was like, I've been just living in a delusional life, you know, where, you know, I've surrounded myself with people who'll be like, oh, this is amazing, you know, and then, you know, when I'm with people that don't even know me, they're like, you know, it's not that great. So that's, I don't know if that makes any sense, but.
Totally does. What's great is that you see images of the people in a closer circle that say, great, they've been encouraging, and you actually say, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that was a delusion. You know, like everything gets thrown up in the air. Good to see.
Right.
Also, this assumption, which I think is really important, they do hate my work. You know, how do you react? How do you react when you believe that thought? Like, there they are. What's the energy like between you and them? They really do hate it.
But see, as you're saying that, I'm thinking, I don't really know that they hated it.
Ooh, good to catch. Good to
Because
catch.
in truth, I actually didn't read any of their reviews. That's full disclosure. I know of them. I knew of them. I knew that only the good ones would be, you know, would be used in marketing, and I knew that ones that when they weren't. So, and so I only know that, you know, I don't really know that. So that's the truth.
Is that fun? Fun to see.
Yeah. So as you're saying, I'm like, you know, I don't know that they actually hated it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So good. I love it. I love it.
Lying to myself.
Yeah. Just being able to be there. I didn't get them. I just know the absence of favorable reviews.
Yes. That's what it was.
They didn't use, you know, where I work in whatever context, right? Okay. Which is incredibly powerful. Not uncommon. People can relate. All right.
Oh, good.
All right. So they made me hate my own work, or they hate it. Like, just noticing what happened, you started to believe that they did hate it. Now that I'm checking, but still in the reaction, see how far back it goes, that just the absence of saying, I like it, you know, like it's almost like silence, whatever.
Yes.
How far back does that go? When did that thought first occur to you, that somebody not saying they like it means they actually hate it?
That probably goes back to when I was born.
Oh,
No, that's the truth. And that's so funny you'd say that, because I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, I hate when people don't acknowledge things, you know, anything. It's like, and I don't know, you know, it doesn't matter what my story is, but that has always been like upfront. It's like, you didn't say you liked it, so therefore you don't like it, regardless of what it is. You know, dinner. I don't know what
yeah.
I did for you.
Yeah.
No reaction means, you know, you don't like it, or it's not worthy of response.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think that's an old belief. That's a very old belief.
Yeah.
That predates this stuff.
Yes. I love it, you know, just so helpful to notice. Family of origin, all the way back. Not unfamiliar. Just the absence of something I think is missing. Now see the picture that you had of what you actually want. So there's this absence. They made me hate my own work. It must have been my work, you know. Just notice the images that you had in that situation of how you would know it was okay. Because they had to be there, right? If you know, how do you know somebody doesn't hate your work? There's no absence. There's nothing missing.
Well, in this situation, we sold tickets. People came out. Like, it was obvious people were coming, you know. So if they really hated my work, I would get nobody to come, I would assume. Maybe not. I don't know.
Uh-huh. That's good. Can't quite know that. Nobody shows up. It means my work is hated. Can I absolutely know that's true? Maybe not. Can't absolutely.
No, that's not true. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know what not hating looks like. It's just good to see.
Oh, yeah. I know it not. Well, in general, I know what not mean. I don't know why I think silence translates into hatred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or lack of acknowledgement, or whatever. I mean, that's what I'm not. I didn't even know that I thought that.
Yeah.
Frankly, but clearly, there's something there.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Anything else that you know happens here? So just noticing, you know, absence of anything means hate, if they hate it. Anything else that happens inside you at the time? So, you know, that thing you mentioned, I mean, they hate my work, and they made me hate my own work. as you watched yourself react, because you said something about going into a really dark place, right? So just see what else happened when you believe that thought.
I'll get emotional.
Yeah.
It's like I don't count. I don't exist. You know, invisible. It's not there,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is probably worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Well, you feel the it's just can really feel like the right under there, you know, is this sadness, this grief. And what you just said, it's just like noticing what comes out. I'm invisible. I don't count. I don't matter. Not important. Okay. So it may be how you treat yourself. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And as you experience not mattering, I'm invisible, how do you treat them? You know, they made me hate my own work. This is the trajectory I'm on. I mean, just see how you treat them then, you know, without the thought. I mean, with the thought, how you treat them, how you react.
Well, I hate them. I hate them back. You know, publicly. I malign them.
Yeah.
Say bad things. You know, I build up quite a, argument, a whole movement, quite frankly, that I started against reviewers. You know, publicly, like we don't need them anymore. They're outdated. You know, social media allows for everybody to have an opinion, which is different than having critics. You know, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is in reaction to that. It's like, I'll get you.
Oh.
Retaliatory.
Yeah. So powerful. Yeah. Form alliances, you know, in a way, like groups that gather together that can be against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Yeah. Good to notice. Okay. And just see if that matches anything the way you felt all the way back in the past, like going way back, you know, just watching that there.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Never saw it. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely comes from family dynamic.
Yeah. I just sometimes love noticing what our strategies for working with what is, you know, like that's what is, and I don't like it. And so I can form groups, which is okay. I mean, no criticism spoken. It's just watching how I react, what I do, how I act, how I feel, what I remember, where I think this is going or not going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Anything more? Anything more?
Mm-mm.
They made me hate my work. They do hate my work.
Well, now I feel like they should be entitled to their opinion.
Well, you know, noticing, you know, I love it sort of like when you start to see, oh, okay, you know, I'm in favor of free speech. I mean, you know, I don't always like, people having their opinions. It's too late. They already have them, right? Against them. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So without the thought, who would I be? What would it be like? And you can put yourself back there, you know, no thought that they made me hate my own work and that they actually do hate my work. What if I wasn't able to see it that way, to think that way in the moment? Just in that.
Yeah, it would have been a much different experience. I would have been happier. I wouldn't have been happy. I wasn't happy at all. I was dreading. I mean, I had 9 weeks of this show. So I was dreading every single show. I was wishing it was over. I was wishing they'd close it. So if I didn't have that thought, if I was free from that thought and not fettered by that, I would have enjoyed it. I would have loved going to the theater. I would have loved entertaining, so many people came out to see it that I knew and didn't know. It would have been, I missed a lot. I missed a lot of fun things.
Oh, yeah.
Because this was in me. It owned me.
Yeah. Well, it's so powerful to see what going into protective mode does. I get it. Yeah. It's funny that that's an idea that the mind has. It's like, I quit, I just won't be involved at all. And
You're right. Why? That's exactly what it felt like. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Which is, just so much compassion, like being with that, and without the belief, just noticing they made me hate my work, and they do hate my work. Now see if you can find that. Just go all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about like family of origins, like way back, absence of saying they liked your work, just silence or whatever, absence of, knowing what they think. Without the thought, it means they hate it. And it means I hate my own work.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't able to have that thought just for a moment, just being in the presence of those people.
Well, I would have felt a lot, I would have felt freer to express myself. Not just on paper. I mean, I would have been able to be truthful.
Yeah.
And not tried to manipulate situations or take the temperature of the room before anything happened. I think I would have been more me.
Yeah.
And I think that would have felt pretty good.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. And like you said, that would have felt pretty good. It's like the feeling in the body without the belief, they made me hate my work, and they do hate it. I'm just not able to believe that, even for a few minutes, just setting it down a moment. What does it feel like physically in the body that's different? It's just nice to notice it,
It feels like just an expansiveness here.
Sweet.
Just like like when you do yoga breaths that aren't forced, just like, like a release. Like, honestly, I wasn't even aware of this, but it was like there's an inner core tension of like, what's everybody gonna think?
Yeah.
And I think you saying that and letting go of that, of like that thought that it had like that effect.
It's cool to imagine, like, oh, I know what I get this hit of what it feels like. Oh, I get what it feels like. It's like that, and like a yoga breath, and then bring it into the scene of the show or the whole thing, or them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and holding it, looking at them, seeing what it's like to be in their presence without the thought, with that feeling. Just looking. Kind of nice, without the thought this actually means they hate my work,
No, it's actually amazing. I'm like, even just in that situation in the theater or at home when I was like, that's an amazing feeling.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah. It's not like you're not in denial that something's happened here. You didn't get what you were hoping, it's okay. And but I love that you also found, I don't know if they hate it. Now that I think about it, it's always great. But just being able to be there, even if they were saying, we don't like your work and we don't like you, just having that feeling in the body and being able to look over there, just looking at those people saying that or writing that or however they're being, or family of origin people doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very helpful.
So let's turn it around. Okay.
Okay.
We got kind of two. So let's do, they made me hate my own work. Maybe just simple opposite.
Yeah, I made me hate my own work.
Turn around to the self. I love it. I made me hate my own work. I made me hate my own work. So example, what do you find? How do you know that could be just as true?
That I made myself hate my work.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. Many examples of that, especially from the play. But
Yeah.
second, it comes to second guessing, hearing a line that you knew was great and solid, and then hearing it and going, "That sucked. That's terrible. I can't believe I wrote that." That type of just in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just completely everything that really worked and I knew worked and I 100% would have spent my life on. I was like, nope, wrong. This is awful. And it wasn't just like, oh, I can fix it. It was like, this is terrible. It's horrible. It's unfixable, like dramatic, like apocalyptic.
Yeah. I love the term made me. It's like it's forced too. Like it just has a real, it's like it's the worst thing that's ever been written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. A little dramatic.
What's kind of cool is like it takes some cool to notice. It takes some force, sometimes passion to make yourself hate. Even your own self. I made myself hate it. I really got it. I grew that fire. I threw some logs in. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you're right. That's hard to hear, but it's true.
Yeah. Like I took what they just didn't say, that I wanted, and I made it like.
Yeah, it's when you say it, it's really funny. It's really,
I know. We're also sweet, right? It's like little kids, going like, does this mean you don't like it?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, same thing really, but just the simple, like what has to be assumed if they hate my work, I hate my work. And I made myself hate it. It's all the same. Those things are the same when you turn around to the self, but I, whatever hate is too, hate's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it feels more like I was angry at my work.
Yeah.
Just really angry, like you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're supposed to be that vehicle of approval or something,
Fantastic. Because hate can be different things in different circumstances. And it's like, great to see, what do I mean by hate here?
Yeah.
What did it?
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out because I had to isolate that. It's like, because I read the play, I'm like, and I don't hate it now. It's, because it's months away, but behind me. But when I'm still angry at it, I'm like, I'm angry at you. It's an inanimate object that I created, but I'm like, you created this problem.
Yes.
Makes sense, but still feel it.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yeah. And good to just check on this one. I hated my own work or my own expression. I made myself hate my own, who I was, all the way back. Family of origin.
Yeah.
I joined, which is very innocent. Isn't that just so innocent? Like, I kind of, these people that we look up to, or whatever's going on there, or their beliefs that they're just sharing that they learned from the previous generation. So that's what we all do. We make each other, I don't know, or I'm just gonna agree with them. If I don't get this praise or like approval, I'm gonna assume the worst,
Right. That's exactly right. And I'll change my behavior. I'll change this. I'll change anything to be more in line or whatever, reflective. So that's an excellent point. And that's honestly, that's a big part. Obviously, it's a huge part of it. It's a chameleon thing. It's like, I'll be whoever I need to be to just get the number or fit into whatever. But yeah.
Which is, I love, it kind of opens up, there's another inquiry there. It's like a very beautiful, that kind of opens on what I think I need in order to be succeeding or feel really great or have a wonderful life, or somewhere along the way, somebody else is getting approval and you're like, that looks great. Or, anyway, just something that happens in noticing the absence of a thumbs up and what I think,
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Another turnaround. They made me hate my own work. They do hate my work. You can turn around to the other. I hate their work. I
Yes.
I hate me. I made myself hate their work.
That's true. That's very true, because many times when I read their work of other plays, I agree. Read their, I'm like, I did make you're right. That's actually feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it fits, not.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I just love that's so not a surprise. It's just like if I feel really kind of like that sadness, actually hurt. Well, I can find good reasons to justify. Like, look what's going on. Look what's going on over there. I hate them.
Yeah.
And all the way back to the people that we care about, like the family of origin people. Well,
Right.
Look at who you are. You've got your list of what you don't agree with.
That's complete correlation.
Yeah, I make me hate them, and it's sort of got a defense that it's just done so innocently. Like you kind of have compassion for whatever war is between people.
Oh no, I see the correlate. I totally.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And the last turnaround is just the simple opposite. They did not make me do anything, and they don't hate my work.
Right. They didn't make me hate my own work.
Yeah.
And they didn't hate my work.
Yeah.
That's really good too. That feels really good too. Because it gives them, no power. And they didn't, and it's less like, oh, I'm being attacked again,
Yeah.
which is another thing, another belief I have. But that particular, them, the bad guy,
Yeah.
The objectifying, that type of thing. And they didn't.
I love that when you found that at the beginning. I assumed that from silence.
I did.
Yeah.
I did assume it from silence.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't really know,
Who knew?
Yeah.
I didn't know I did that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I never put words to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I do that all the time.
And it's something we're crazy like that we don't know like a human dynamic you can see, especially as a writer, if you're writing like dialogue,
Yeah.
If somebody folds their arms and has that look on their face and says nothing, they look like they're not happy,
Right.
And even there, you can find like they're just believing what they think in the moment. They might not have the whole perspective, like.
Yeah, you're right. Oh boy, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, they're freaking out. They don't know what to say. They don't. Who knows? But
you're right. Who does know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
I honestly don't know.
So this is
really Grace. That's great. That's great.
Well, I love this one, it's so great. And a living turnaround, I love this idea of like, and how would I live this turnaround? Just recognizing it. And you don't have to sometimes, just doing the work. That's what I love about the work is you just do the work and it kind of has shifted something. And what I've liked about this one as a living turnaround, noticing, sharing the same thought, like silence equals disapproval. And I don't really know is I can actually ask them. when you have that look, or when you're not saying anything right now, I'm wondering what's going on over there, you know, in a human conversation. It's like, oh, I could ask, or if,
Yes,
you know,
that's an option, isn't it?
if it feels right, if it feels right. And yeah,
Or I could just assume that they do like it,
that's true.
you know,
It's equal.
until proven otherwise, you know. So
Yeah.
they say, no, it's terrible, but I could just assume.
Yeah.
Good. Silence means, no news is good news, or whatever the saying is.
That's right. Could be just as true. That's kind of fun. Like, ooh, yay, silence. Ooh, we got the silence thing, like, yeah, yeah. And it's fun because you just feel different on the inside. And then of course, how are you going to be with, as the show goes on, different,
Well, right.
going to feel different. And
Yes. Yes, but the belief that starts to feel more comfortable with me is, why do you always have to go to that?
yeah,
As opposed to, what if you tried this on for size for a little bit, and see how that feels, because I've learned that, through the work, is, you pick your beliefs, and your thoughts, and
yeah, yeah,
I'm ready to let go of this one,
yeah,
or let go of me, please.
yeah. And I love with just noticing you have more resource for seeing what forcing me to hate myself feels like. And that there's something very sad underneath. Like it feels hateful, and it feels very sad and not loving.
And it's there. I mean, it's a fascinating. I didn't realize how hard I am on myself.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, that's abundantly clear that I could just go to that place.
yeah.
Huh, that's great.
Yeah. I find
Powerful stuff.
so. Yeah, I always I refer to that voice as the mean girl, and of course that's not even giving it enough. It sounds sort of light compared to, but the Mean Girl movies. It's like, yeah, it's pretty. It's just like that. There's if I'm violent enough, I will change. If with myself, if I don't want to be violent with other people, and I see that I don't, I'm either too scared or I really don't want to, because I'm kind of in that. So I've turned it towards myself, and unfortunately, of course, it doesn't work. So it's great. Then you just catch it the next time you feel your habit coming up of violence. Oh, there's that thing that is scared that if I don't change, it'll get worse.
Yeah. And I like your use of the word violence. It's a strong word, and it's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can downplay that in my own self. It's like, oh, you're just being hard on yourself. But violent is like,
yeah. Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like an attack.
Yeah. I love, loving what is, or, being okay with what is, put that way. It's equals ourselves. It's other people and what's happening around, and that's what we're questioning. And it comes back to also us as we are.
Right.
Or, not doing that. It's the same. It's the same. So just, I love learning that.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I've got to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, right? I mean, I think it's all there. That's where it all comes from.
Yeah. Well, so sweet. I just love you do the work on this.
Well, thank you for letting me do this. This is like the first time I've formally done it with another person. I mean, I've done it with myself. So
fantastic. I'm so glad. Thanks you for your courage to do it.
No, thank you for making it so easy. I feel like I know you. I read your stuff and your newsletter, and I listen to your podcast. I'm like, I love Grace. I feel like it's an old buddy.
That's so cool.
Well, thank you, Grace. You're a doll. You're a delight, and it's a real joy having someone so accessible. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh, you're so welcome. Wonderful to have you here today. Loved it.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, privilege. All right. Lots of love, and thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, dear.